Our dear kind Heavenly Fathers, we come before thee tonight in this county commission. We appreciate thy hand and in the freedoms that we have. We recognize that everything comes from thee, and we would like to say thank you for all the precipitation that came across the state that curbed the wildfires and helped us with our crops and just with the water that we needed. Heavenly Father, at this time, please bless those people that are in harm's way, our armed force service people and especially our deputies and police officers here, that they will be able to go home safe and not have any problems. Please bless this nation, that we will be able to continue to heal, that we'll be able to once again be a shining light to the rest of the world. Please continue to watch over us and help us have a good night tonight and a safe way home. We say these things in my Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you guys looked over your minutes, I entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes from September 18th.
Second.
It seems like forever ago. Got a motion by Commissioner Scott, a second by Commissioner Hatfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Administrative review, follow-ups. Have you guys got anything? Former agenda items?
I don't.
The only thing that we're going to talk about that could be pulled off is that grammar request on the appeal. But we'll kind of talk about what we're going to do when we get to that, if that's okay. Okay. Corey, do you want to give us a fire update now, or are we good? I think we're good. Well, we appreciate everything everybody's done. Did we ever make it over 100,000 acres yet this year? We're still under 100? Way to go, Commissioner Scott.
Yeah, it's all thanks to him.
Yeah, he's the one that said, don't let it get over 100,000.
And we did that.
That's
Thanks,
awesome.
Corey.
Glad you put a stop to that.
You made my day.
But we were at 86 fires? Or
We're
something like that?
90 now.
Okay.
We've all kept them all small.
All right. Okay. Well, it looks like we're at Breast Cancer Awareness Proclamation in Chad Hunt and Alina Pierce. Anybody, you guys, want to come on up? Bring the whole crew. Get up here. If we need chairs, just grab chairs and bring up next to you so you guys can state your name in the microphone. And you can do whatever you'd like. Sit, stand, and
Just share them.
You can do
Just
that
share
too.
the microphone.
We're not dancing.
share the microphone. You're not dancing?
No dancing.
I had music queued up and everything.
Well,
Just
thank you.
everybody state your name into the microphone. Tell them, okay,
I'm Laurie Anderson.
okay.
Nicole Silva. Alina Pierce.
Holly Carter. Nancy Anderson.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to come and visit with you tonight. Again, I'm Alina Pierce with the Bear River Health Department, but I'm part of the Box Elder Women's Health Coalition. And Laurie Anderson is actually our president of our coalition. So she's going to give you a little background about our coalition. And then we brought a proclamation that we'd love for you to consider signing. And we brought you a couple of treats as well.
Cool. Man,
Well, we've had a coalition.
will you bring that mic right up next to you? So, sorry.
We started off as Tough Enough to Work.
I gotta go.
Okay.
Okay,
Could you present that? It just needs signatures on it.
Yep.
Everything's done. I
Okay.
apologize.
Sorry about that.
no problem.
Thanks, Corey.
Hey, keep it under 100,000, please. Thanks, Corey.
We started our coalition about 3 years ago, but before that, 4 years ago, we were Tough Enough to Wear Pink. We decided that the money we raised, we wanted to keep in the county for our women. So all the money that is raised through Tough Enough to Wear Pink and all the other activities that we do throughout the year, we put that in a nonprofit fund. And we use that for awareness to make women aware, and husbands and sisters, wives, aunts, anybody aware that breast cancer is one of the leading causes of death in the women in Utah. of cancer causes. And then also we want to educate the women on when they should start having their mammograms, when they, how often, and also what signs and symptoms they might need to go and see their healthcare professional. And then we do support. What we do with that is when we find out a woman has been recently diagnosed with breast cancer, we contact her and we give her a gas card because there's a lot of money in gas going back and forth. And then we also give her a gift certificate to help with surgical needs. And last year we had 27 women in our county that we know of that were diagnosed with breast cancer. This year so far we're at 22. So it is out there, and inevitably someone will get it, and we're here to help.
That's awesome.
So we have a proclamation that just goes through some basic information about breast cancer and some awareness issues. It's got some numbers and some statistics. So we would like you to review that if you would. And we also brought some resources. The health department provides some screenings for women at low cost. Both of our hospitals in our community do 3D screening for mammogram screening, which is a great resource for the ladies in our area as well. So that's what we would like to have you take a peek at if you would.
Have you guys got any questions?
I don't.
I do.
It's great work.
Are we still among the lowest screening rates in the state? Box Elder County?
Unfortunately, we are. Yes, we are among one of the lower counties. Yes, so that's one of the reasons why we're trying to promote awareness and try to get those numbers up. Many women, know about it, know that it's around, know that it's available, but just don't take the action to do that. So it's up to all of us to reach out to the women that we love and reinforce that and try to get them to think about it. So events such as this, where we're doing tough enough to wear pink and different proclamations, things like that.
Well, and I know
will
we've been
help
talking a
increase.
bunch more about helping, maybe doing something right before the fair also. So I think if we can get that rolled out and help
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
Every year at the rodeo, we have great support with that, and we really appreciate it. It gives us a platform to bring increase awareness.
Well, and with the technology at the two local hospitals with the 3D, there's really no excuse anymore.
Right.
I mean,
Right, and if you don't
So-
have if you don't have funds or you don't have insurance coverage if you don't have coverage for that, then we do have some resources at the health department where we can get you in for a screening and then also provide a voucher for a mammogram.
cool.
Okay,
Thank
that'd be
you.
awesome. So I entertain a motion.
I'd entertain a motion that we approve the proclamation for the breast cancer awareness.
You're making a motion for that?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
I've got a motion by Commissioner. You got me messed up now. I always say
started it,
Jeff.
Sorry.
Commissioner Hatfield, and the second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Have you got a copy, Marta? You just want?
I have extra copies if you need to.
Yeah, I'll have you sign both, then you can have one and all. How's that?
Yeah, thanks for correcting me on that. I wasn't entertaining the motion. I was.
That's what we get for
Just
cheating.
checking.
Everybody's got it.
Everybody's entertained tonight, so.
It's been a long time since we've had a commission meeting.
We're also wondering if we can get a picture with you all with that.
I don't know. That's kind of asking a little much.
Okay, we'll take these back.
Yes, we'll be right there. That's okay. I have these.
I know.
Hopefully the Heart Attack Coalition's coming up next. Is it okay if I sign this Stan Summers instead of Scott Summers, though?
Yes, I did an amended one, sorry.
It's okay.
There's-
Serious? I didn't even notice.
There is one that's correct, the one that I did.
Wow, I'm flattered.
Well, they got your initials right, SS.
SS, they got my, it should be BS, but
Thank you.
I'm flattered. Okay. Let's see, we need, is that me?
yeah, that was you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
We got
you very
pictures.
much.
That one's from Marla. Oh. I'll beat them up later for their milk money.
By height? Am I shorter?
I just know I'm supposed to stand in the back. Yeah, get in. Yeah. Look, right here in the middle. There you go. You guys stand up.
Oh, wait, no glasses. And thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
You guys are up next. The proclamation for domestic violence, New Hope. It's okay. You can have some of mine. That's what it takes to get a picture with us, so you're good.
Emily White.
Just state your name, everybody. Speak into the mic. And
I'm Penny Evans. I'm the director at New Hope Crisis Center.
I'm Angela Byington. I do the secondary prevention education.
And I'm Carrie Vincent, and I write the grants and manage the programs.
And actually, all of us here are trained as victim advocates. So we are small. We have 17 employees at New Hope Crisis Center. And I think we do a lot of good work for being so small, because we have advocates on call 24/7, 365 days a year, that people go out to crisis calls. I was saying last night, because I was in Tremonton last night, I've been there almost 20 years now. And when I first started, I remember times where we were empty a few days here and there with shelter, but anymore, we're never empty. I can't remember the last time we've been empty. Rooms clear out and then we fill right back up again. So I don't know if it's because of awareness or because there's more violence in the world. I don't know. What do you think, Steve?
I don't know, probably a little of both.
that's what I was just going to say.
Probably.
Sad.
Probably it is
sad, but
It
a
is
little
sad.
both.
But we're on the helping end. That's what I tell people, and we're there to help, and we have wonderful staff, and I can't say enough good about the staff we have there. We have 4 employees that are bilingual. They speak Spanish as well, so that's really helpful in the community. So we appreciate our partnerships with everyone here. We appreciate the county prosecutors. They're all great to work with. And I can't say enough good about law enforcement. Sheriff Potter and his team do a wonderful job helping
We're lucky.
victims. We are lucky. And we're lucky we have good relationships with them.
Yep.
Not every community is like we are here. So we feel very fortunate.
We hear that all the time, if you can believe that.
Yeah, I
That it's
do.
amazing how good we all get along.
We all get along, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So this past year, we provided 2,856 shelter nights. We assisted 772 adults, that's men and women, and 294 children. And staff took over 3,000 crisis calls, and 1,654 people walked in seeking help.
Wow.
Yeah, lots of people.
That's countywide, so that would be Tremonton and Brigham.
Yeah, yep.
Michael came and spoke to us yesterday at Rotary, and she didn't have some of those numbers, but that's a lot higher than I think any of us expected.
Yeah, well, we're busy. We were all busy today. Huh?
Too busy.
I think Sheriff Potter can tell you, we're all busy.
When you divide that by 365 days and you're just going,
Yeah,
there's not many days that you're not doing something.
that's why I can't say enough good about our staff. They're
Yeah.
really, all of them really good people. They are. If you have any more questions or anything, or should I read the proclamation?
Read the proclamation.
Stan, I didn't make you chair this year. I took that off.
That's okay.
Okay. I thought you'd be sad.
No, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So whereas 1 in every 3 women in Utah will experience domestic violence during her lifetime, and whereas victims should have help to find the compassion, comfort, and healing they need, and domestic abusers should be punished to the full extent of the law, and whereas fleeing domestic violence has caused women and children to be the fastest growing homeless population, and whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month provides an excellent opportunity for the community to recognize this issue and the many victims of this terrible crime, and to show support for the numerous organizations and individuals who provide critical advocacy, services, and assistance to victims. we would like to ask you commissioners in Box Elder County to urge our residents to work together to eliminate domestic violence from our community and hereby declare October 2018 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Box Elder County.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
I would make a motion that we sign the proclamation against domestic violence and declare October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Second.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Scott and a second by Commissioner Hatfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. You want us to sign?
Yeah, thank you. Do you need a copy of it? Do you want a copy, Marla?
I've got one here, we can have them sign too.
Okay, thank you.
Where we change commissioners, or, you know, chairs and commission, people don't quite get it all, so don't worry about it.
Okay. I'm like, I don't ever know who it is. Sorry.
We don't
No,
either.
don't be sorry.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Don't take it the wrong way, but I hate to see that you'd have to come back every year, but I'm afraid we're
We
in
wish
that.
you wouldn't. Angela's doing a lot of good prevention work in the school, so hopefully someday you won't see us.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Looks like we've got the Selmans up next. Okay, that's fine. Fred can stay there. We know where he's at. And just pull the mic towards you and state your name and where you're from. That'd be great.
I'm Laura Selman, and I'm from Tremont. And I just want to say that this is a long time, long overdue thank you to three guys that are really special. I didn't make a lot of noise a year ago, but I kind of insinuated, will you help at the fair? And you did. This year, I actually said, hey, we need help at the fair. And guess who showed up? All three of you. And you came ready to work and ready to go to work. And you stayed with me all day. And I just want to say how I appreciate that. I think it's very, very important that the people of Box Elder County can see you out there, where they can talk to you, where they can visit with you. The garbage disposal was wonderful. The sandwiches went out well. You visited with people, and they felt very happy about that. They felt like you were part of them, and I think that's important, and I want to say thank you very much for that help. And I'll also beg you to come back next year.
You don't need to beg.
Because we're going to be there.
We'll be
and
there.
we so appreciate that help. It meant a lot to me, and it meant a lot to everybody else out to the county fair.
You guys do great work, so it's good to be a part of it.
Well, it's fun.
We
It's
ended
fun.
up feeding over 2,000 people.
We feed a lot of people. But
That's
the
a lot of
thing we
onion rings
have
and
to
lamb.
remember is it's for the kids.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what it's all about. And you don't have any trouble getting help because all you do is say it's for the fair.
Yep,
And if it's for the fair, you'll do anything.
usually.
You bet they do. They come out to help. And I had a time that I visited a little bit with you about the livestock sale, and I've since found that I have some other challenges where I can see where we have got some problems that we need to address. And I think that you're aware of that. I kind of have a thought about maybe doing a class for just the livestock that's grown, that the kids actually raise themselves from birth on. And maybe there's something that we can do in there. I don't know, but it's something we need to address before next year. And I think that's something that we can all work together on. I've had people tell me some ideas that I thought were great, and I'm certainly no expert, but I can see some advantages to it. So,
Thank
but
you.
I do want to say thank you so much for your help.
Thank you.
There's a couple of other little challenges that I kind of worry a little bit about, and I want you guys to be aware, and I'm sure you already are. I worry a lot about the whey problem, that they're dumping the whey in Blue Creek, and what that's going to do to our water aquifers. When I was just a girl, my dad told me about when the water dried up at our place in Blue Creek. And it was right after an earthquake hit out to Locomotive Springs, and it was in 1933 or 34. And I wasn't born then. And so, but he told me all about that, and it was dried up for 3 days. So those water aquifers are alive and they're well. And I worry about it affecting not only the water out in that area, but the water coming on in, even into the Bothwell Pocket. And then I worry a little bit about what happens with all the ravens that come and what happens to our sage grouse. And our private landowners, we know for a fact, are the ones that
Take care of it.
that take care of those sage grouse. And I'd hate to see those ravens come in and they actually eat the eggs, and when they eat the eggs, it destroys the sage grouse.
Yeah.
And then we've got the problem with a garbage dump facility that is being encouraged by Randy Molding, and I have the same problem there. What happens to our water aquifers? And that bothers me a lot. And then, too, the raven problem.
I know we've been talking with the DEQ about the ravens and the things that are happening there, so they're well aware of the things that are, and I know they've done other things. We do know that because of the ag exemption, that they're held to a different level. So, but they've changed their practices. We've noticed that they've actually come out and done what they were supposed to do and things lately. So we haven't had as many complaints.
Well, I just worry a lot more about what's happening to our water and then what's happening to our grouse. So.
And we appreciate that. I've been to the Birdie Festival. I walked my butt up and down there to watch those grouse, and that's a lot of things that are happening with society. We're just talking about everything that's kind of going on with society, and
Absolutely.
we have to keep our minds and headed to the future. So.
But I do appreciate you guys listening to my concerns, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a safe
Thank
trip.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Fred.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Laura. Susie Witt. Oh, there you are. Sorry, I seen you back there, but didn't see you here.
All
State
right.
your name and who are you from?
Susie Witt with Habitat for Humanity.
Okay.
We had a wonderful dinner out at your fairgrounds on Friday night. And we are just coming to ask for like a waiver, I don't know, on the $350 fee that
Okay.
we're going to have for that.
How much did you end up, do you have a figure how much you made that night?
Probably at this point we're at about, well, that night we made about 9,000.
Wow.
But total on the whole thing will be, with table sales and everything, will probably be around 17, 18
Wow.
without expenses.
And now you're planning on doing a home in Brigham and Tremont this year, right?
Well, they won't be done this year.
Well, I'm just saying this is what
Starting.
you're starting. You're starting your planning. That was
Yeah.
amazing.
We're excited.
That lady that came up, I don't think there was a dry eye in the place that
Yeah.
when she got up and told her story about the things. I
Yeah.
appreciate their efforts and things. And
Yeah, our site is already we already started the one in Brigham. We've got it cleaned off and now we're got the plans and we're gonna start moving forward with that. Just waiting for the permit, building
Permits.
permit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think with all the good work they're doing throughout the community, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
No, and I think that's traditionally what we've done with the Red Cross on blood donations.
Anything that's helping for the community. So I'd entertain a
Festival of the
motion.
Trees, STEM Fair. So
I'd make a motion that we waive the fee for the fairgrounds for Habitat for Humanity.
I'll second that.
I got a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for all your good work.
Thanks, Susie.
Thanks for attending, too.
Yep. Dave, not Jeff. Just state your name and who you're from.
I'm Dave Reinhardt. I'm the controller up at Nucor Steel, and I appreciate the commission's time tonight to hear our request to waive the penalties and interest on our property tax bill from this year. I do want to apologize to the commission for the oversight. We did have some challenges this year with implementing a new computer system, and we have had some longtime employees retire, and so we've had some turnover. And again, it was an oversight on our part. We missed the extension deadline on the payment as soon as we realized it, we went ahead and sent in an estimated payment, and then I think finalized it a week later.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm here to request, Nucor Steel. We pride ourselves on taking care of the community, and it's not something that I'm terribly proud of that we missed that. So.
Yeah, no, I understand and realize that. I was just telling Jeff before it, I think I've missed it a couple times, if I remember right, Rod. So I understand the whole control, with everything going on and the turnover and things, and the support you guys give to the community is amazing. So I would entertain a motion if you guys want to talk about it. I mean, I'd hate to see it. I'm sure it won't happen again.
Correct.
So you guys, discussion?
I've just got a question though, as far as, is there, because in talking with Rod, I guess there's been extensions like 3 out of the last 4 years. And I know, like say, there's been some changes and stuff going on, but is there anything that you guys are implementing so that you can meet that deadline in May and versus
So we're working on
extending
that. The complication becomes we have to finalize a lot of our stuff from the previous year end for financial statement purposes to determine the value of the property that we've added from the previous year.
Right.
We're continually investing in that facility up there, and with the volume of money that we invest, it does take us a little bit of time, unfortunately, to work with our legal team and to finalize all those numbers before we have something prepared to turn in. What I might suggest is we could submit estimated payments in that May timeframe when the property tax bill is due, if the county and the commission would be open to then us truing that up once we could finalize that. And we can still continue to file an extension for the true-up amount, and we could then just go ahead and submit an estimated tax payment then earlier in the year when the original bill is due, instead of filing an extension for the entire amount.
That was going to be one of my suggestions, because I know with my business being self-employed, I have to do the quarterly estimated. And so I think if the county had an estimate, so if it were approximately X during 2018, and there was an estimated, payment that came in for X next year, and it was within, a few percentage points, and then it was trued up, just as quick as possible with that extension, I think that would go a long way. Then it wouldn't be a situation, because one of the biggest problems that we have is with the budgetary cycle. When it comes in, sometimes it's on its way back out, and so when it doesn't come in, I mean, everybody's got bills to pay.
Yes.
And so.
No, I think that's a good option. I think we could go ahead and implement something where we would make the estimated tax payments based on the prior year's
and still file
tax
the
bill,
extension and
then
true
file
it up.
the extension, then true it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only question that I would have, and Rod might be addressing this right now.
He needs to come up here.
You need to come up here, Rod. Well, unless you want us just to ignore it. I'm just kidding.
What you're saying is fine as far as making the payment earlier. There will be no extensions done through the assessor's office. Utah code has no ifs, ands, or buts about what it's supposed to be. We've done it as a favor when it comes back and bites, and my staff has been said there will be no extensions. It is May 15th. The early payment can happen. What that would do is there's still going to be a penalty, which is 10% of what the total amount is due, or where it would save the money is on the interest. And this year we only charged interest from the date that we were told we would have payment at the end of August until September 7th when the first payment was done. So interest wasn't done. That was a small amount. But we can't give an extension. My office will not give an extension without them. And he says he has a lot of things that have to be on. That is true. But Volcraft has theirs on time. Nucor Building Systems has their time on time. Procter & Gamble has theirs on time. May 15th is what the law states. And unless the legislature changes that, that's what we have to enforce in the assessor's office.
I just do an amended, just do what you said and take care of it that way on that date. That's what I would do. Okay.
We'll be prepared to do that for next year.
Yeah, I think, I mean, if it comes in, if you can do that and it comes in May 15th, now, what happens, and this is something I don't know, Rod, say it's $100 and they send in an estimated payment for $100, but then the ultimate bill when it comes in is $99. Does that get credited towards next year? Do they do a refund? What happens there?
In that small amount, there wouldn't be a refund.
Well, but we're talking, he's talking $100, but we're talking,
We're talking thousands, there would be a refund. That would be a
okay.
Okay. Yeah, that would be my suggestion is if you know an estimated, round up just a little bit.
Correct.
And then that way you don't get hit with penalties and interest if it is going to be beyond May 15th.
Remember that it's not only the payment, it has to be the schedules, and that's what has to be in by May 15th.
Right,
So it saves the interest, but it doesn't save the penalty.
right. So I just fill out the schedules and turn them in. Okay, I entertain a motion.
Do you have any?
Well,
You got any questions?
the only other question I have, and this is just for me, more so because I really appreciate Nucor for all they do in the community. They really do a lot, and they've been a great contributor to the community, and so I don't want to diminish that at all, but it puts us in a little bit of a pickle because we've had so many other people that have come and said, hey, can I get my stuff waived and stuff. And so my feeling is that even if it was a minimal, I guess, penalty or something that way, just because this has gone on before, and if we waive yours, then the next person that comes in is going to be like, well, geez, just because Nucor is a big corporation, you waive them, but yet, I worry about the precedents that it sets. That's my concern.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and like I said, I think we know that it's not going to happen again, so I don't have that problem with it, so. And if we were talking about $100, I'd be talking about $100, but. So I can't make a motion. I can only entertain one. So,
With this new computer system, do you think it'll be an issue in the future? I mean, for the May 15th?
It should not. We've just had some bugs that we've had to work out of the system. And again, we work with a relatively small team, so we've got a very cross-functional group. So the problems with the system haven't impacted the property tax calculation itself. It's just been that the limited staff has been tied up working through bugs in the system in other areas. And so as we've learned the system and gotten ahead of it and worked some of the bugs out, it's had my team in quite a frazzled state for the last 6 months or so. And again, I think that's what contributed to the oversight on missing the payment on the due date at the end of August.
okay. Okay. I'm stuck, so.
From a legal standpoint, what options do we have here, Steve?
Well, as the commission, you can completely waive it. You can say, no, we're not going to waive it. You can do part of it. You're pretty flexible that way.
Okay.
I mean,
No.
I'd feel a little bit more comfortable. I mean, realizing that the notice was given and deadline was missed. I mean, imposing some sort of penalty. I mean, it doesn't, not to the extent of this.
So
but
how about if
something
we said
minimal.
something, if it happened again next year, then we'd impose the penalty and, I mean, because this is really the first time they've came in front of us to waive anything that I've been here. So, I mean, if that would make it feel better that if for some reason this did happen again next year, we'd basically have to impose the penalty, would that be? Because like I said, they haven't come in front of us the last 3 or 4 years.
To my knowledge, this is the first time
Yeah.
we've actually missed the payment. While we have requested an extension the last several years,
Right.
we have made the payments based on the allowed
The schedules.
extensions.
Okay.
So, would that be okay with you?
Well, like I said,
Is that way they know
I
what-
still have the concern as a precedent that it sets. That's my That's my biggest concern, is it, because we have other people that come in for the first time, and we've held pretty fast to it.
Well, on here, I mean, you've got the original amount that was due, the late fee, and the interest. At this point, you've already paid the original amount that's due, and so you're here for the late fee and the interest. I mean, if that's something that you're thinking about, maybe we could, as you know, as an amount, do the interest and waive the late fee.
That's fine. I mean, if
What do you think? Thoughts?
I think we ought to just make sure that next year it doesn't happen. If it happens again, then they know they're going to have to do them both.
Yeah, I'm just throwing that out as an option. I mean, I understand, and we appreciate you guys coming in, and this hasn't happened, you know, before. You've had the extension, so.
Like I said, if it was the third time and we were waiving it for the third time, then I'd be saying no, and David been understanding. And so, like I said, I can't make a motion, but you guys decide what you want to do.
I'd make the motion that we basically impose the interest and waive the late fee.
I would second that.
Okay, I've got a motion by Commissioner Hatfield, or a motion by Commissioner Hatfield and a second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
And I'm going to say no. So, it sounds like $1,000, and you're good to go. So,
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
thank you.
Thanks for coming
Dave.
in.
Yep.
Thanks, Dave.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
You don't need to be scared.
Oh, I'm not scared.
I just want it understood that from my standpoint, what you guys do is a whole different ballgame. But, and the reason I tell you that we have to go by those laws, we've done it in the past, for transparency reasons.
Rod, just talk to me.
I just want you guys to know that that's why we're going the way we are. We're not trying to punish anybody one way or another.
Yeah.
We're just going by what the law tells us that we do. And then what you guys do after that is not our issue. But I know that becomes problematic to you guys. But so that's why I wanted them to make sure that they know next year that is the date. And I think I had a discussion with one of them out there. I don't know. I don't think it was you. I think it was probably Jeff that I talked to. So they should be aware of that. And
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that that was
Okay.
clear.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, grandma repeal. So, 3 weeks ago, we had a grandma request about a ordinance that was enacted in the 90s? 96, and that somebody brought it to our attention that we were not following anymore because of, basically, we had been gone underneath USIP as our liability people. So I don't know if we're going to have to just probably get the staff to come back and we'll redo that ordinance or rescind it, or can we do that now? Or
There was an email that came from Johnny that came to our auditor, and he forwarded it on, and I sent a request down to Johnny Miller at USIP asking him to forward us the kind of a template for the ordinance change so that we could change that, show that we are covered. It's just not under penal bonds, it's under our liability coverage.
Okay.
And I mean, then we'd have to, make sure that we're in compliance.
I think that's great, except I think he's waiting for us to get the template because we're the first ones.
Huh.
So
Okay. So his template might be coming from us, and then he'll send it back to us?
right.
Okay.
Okay.
So I would say
Interesting. I was not aware of that.
As soon as that template's ready, just put it on the agenda and we'll get that taken care of.
Okay. So is that something that you're working on in conjunction with him to make sure that we're,
Yep.
all right?
Yep.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay. Resolution 1807, Housing Gap Coalition. That's us.
Okay.
Bunch of whereases.
Yeah,
This is the resolution that the gal,
this came from Bryn.
Bryn.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to condense this.
Okay.
At our last
Please.
commission meeting, we had Bryn Mortensen from the Salt Lake County, or the Salt Lake Chamber of Commerce come and speak to us about affordable housing. Well, housing affordability, which is different. The numbers that Mitch, our Economic Development Director, gave show just how dramatically the median home prices are increasing. And we're extremely concerned about our next generation even being able to afford a home, let alone rental properties as well. And so this resolution basically just states that we, in conjunction with other municipalities, are going to continue to work towards positive solutions for housing affordability with zoning, with infrastructure, and doing what we can from a regulatory standpoint to make it easier for folks to get into to homes. So
Okay.
there we go.
I'd entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion that we approve resolution number
07.
18-07 regarding housing affordability.
Second.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Scott and a second by Commissioner Hatfield. All in favor?
Aye.
And part of that was helping with Habitat for Humanity and the good things they do, because we're out of housing in our area. Okay. Change the date. I almost said due date. 21st, apparently that's,
For election
Your
canvas?
election canvas has to be held on November 20th.
okay.
So you can either hold that as a separate meeting, or you can change your commission meeting and hold it all together.
You know what I like. There's no reason to have two, so I say we change the meeting to the 20th, which would be what day?
Tuesday.
Are you guys good with that?
Yes, and that would be our morning meeting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'd entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion that we change the commission meeting, the second commission meeting of November to November 20th.
I'll second that.
You might have to do that without me, so. And I'm actually having surgery that day, so I got a motion by Commissioner Hatfield and a second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Tiffany Bingham is not here, I don't think, because she got
This
Corey gave
is
us,
the
okay.
stuff for Corey. I think this is for the
fire
fire
suppression grant.
suppression grant.
Okay.
Looks like the amount requested was $4,000 from Kip Tanner on the fire suppression system. Looks like Corey's signed off on everything and
Okay.
looks good, so.
That's the one that she had for us at the last meeting, but just didn't have the,
Rest of the
Yeah.
signatures.
yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'd make a motion that we approve the fire suppression grant for Kip Tanner as stated.
Second?
I got a motion by Commissioner Scott and a second by Commissioner Hatfield. All in favor?
Aye. Pass that down tomorrow.
Janica? Do I need to sign this on the bottom? Is that what that's for?
I have to look at it. Probably.
Commission approval, yeah. Looks like it needs your signature.
We're ready.
So the last time I was here, I said I was done changing this policy. Unfortunately, it
Government.
seems to be a project that's never
Work
going
in
to
progress.
So, I received a request from the sheriff's office to modify our fleet policy to include part of the drug testing policy. You have a different draft than what I'm proposing today, so I'll explain the change. But basically, the reason for it is there was nothing in the fleet policy that said anything about post-accident drug testing with the new changes from USIP. So we're proposing 15-15 number 6, stating essentially exactly what the drug testing policy says. The sentence that I would like to strike begins in the first paragraph of that new change, and it says, however, in the event of a serious accident involving multiple vehicles or significant injuries, it would be in the best interest of the employee and the county to have the employee submit to a post-accident testing.
So the whole reason that sentence was even there to begin with was to protect the county from liability. However, after reviewing the changes from Johnny Miller and USIP to Section 12, I'm not real comfortable as the county risk manager leaving that sentence in there.
Okay.
If an employee were to ever ask to have drug testing done, we would never deny them
Right.
for any reason. So I would like to strike that one sentence and then go ahead and have you approve the policy as it reads without that
Without that
sentence. in it.
sentence. Okay.
If they are involved in an accident, it's mandatory drug testing anyway,
Anyway.
isn't it?
It is only mandatory if they're a CDL holder. So that's the change that USIP just brought with policy 12. So if they're non-CDL, non-DOT driver, they don't have to submit to a drug test unless there's reasonable suspicion.
So for example, one of us have the
Fender bender.
Tahoe and we're out west heading to a meeting and we're in an accident. It's up to us.
So the way it would work with any employee is the supervisor's notified. Typically, the supervisor arrives on scene, and then if there's reasonable suspicion, they can request a drug test.
If they're a non-DOT,
DOT is always going to
I
test.
just said automatic test.
Yep.
Okay.
Any thoughts on that, Steve, from a liability standpoint? I mean, I understand the DOT and the CDL portion, but I would think that there could potentially be liability.
Well, the problem is, if you don't have reasonable suspicion, and you require them to do the drug testing, you're basically making them incriminate themselves when there's no basis for it,
Right.
subjecting themselves to possible criminal liability. So as an employer, we can't really require that unless there's some
Gotcha.
reasonable suspicion.
That's how the policy actually used to read, is every accident you get tested, and now they've made that change.
All right.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we change the fleet management policy as stated.
I'll second that.
We've got a motion by Commissioner Hatfield and a second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
And you're up again.
Yep, this one's a quick one. So I'm here to propose today that you approve a retirement incentive for eligible employees who are in good standing. The retirement incentive dates would again be January 1st and 16th and February 1st and 16th of 2019.
Okay.
This allows the employees some time to begin starting the process, deciding if they're going to retire or not. So I just need your permission and approval to send out an email letting them know that an incentive does exist.
Okay. I think it's a good program. It'll help the county save money, and so
On that, do you just weight it just a little bit heavier if they go out in January versus February, or does it make any difference?
It doesn't make a difference at all. The amount stays
just-
the same.
Have to have it submitted by the payroll. Okay.
Yeah, and just so you know, the potential savings is $400,492.87
I've seen that.
if everyone were to go. So
And you already have at least 3 to 5 that are,
Knocking on the
they're
door.
chomping at the bit saying, have you talked to them yet?
They're sick of us. I know. That's one good thing about the county, you know.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'd entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion that we approve the retirement incentive as stated for 2019.
Second.
I got a motion by Commissioner Scott and a second by Commissioner Hatfield. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Scott.
All right, first item I have is ordinance 482. This is for a zone change. The request is to amend 3.14 acres from the A20 zone to the A1 half zone. This is located at 3008 West Forest Street, so just out west of the refuge. This has gone before the Planning Commission at their last meeting. They held a public hearing. There was no opposition to the requested change, and the Planning Commission forwarded a recommendation of approval.
Have you guys got any questions on that?
I don't.
Is this the one that they're looking at annexing into Brigham City?
No, this is a separate property. It
Okay.
is just adjacent to that property.
All right. Yeah, I heard a little bit of info on that one too, so I was wondering.
I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve ordinance 482
I'll second that.
I got a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Ordinance 483, this is an agricultural subdivision. This agricultural subdivision is located at 18290 North, 4400 West. This is up just north of the Fielding area, and they are subdividing off. It's about let's see, 2.98 acres from a 58.95 acre agricultural parcel. This as well has gone before the Planning Commission and has received approval from them and comes before you now for approval.
Got any questions on that one?
No, I don't know that one. I'd make a motion that we approve ordinance number 483, the ag subdivision.
Second?
I've got a motion by Commissioner Scott and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Keep it rolling.
Ordinance 484, this is another agricultural subdivision. This one's located at 9405 North, 6000 West. So this is just south of Tremonton. And this one as well is subdividing off. There's a single family dwelling on the property, subdividing off that single family dwelling from the remainder, from the 11.61 acres of ag land. This one as well meets the requirements of state code and has been reviewed and approved by the Planning Commission at their August meeting.
Okay.
Okay, I make a motion, we approve ordinance 484.
I'll second that.
I got a motion by Commissioner Hadfield and a second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
The next is ordinance 486. This is another zone change. So the request is to amend the county zoning map from the RR2 zone to the CG, which is a general commercial zone. The property requested consists of 4 acres, and it is located at approximately 1200 west along 7800 south in the South Willard area. This request went before the Planning Commission at their September meeting, and a public hearing was held. There were 2 comments, both in favor of the zone change, and the Planning Commission forwarded a recommendation of approval.
Okay, that's
I entertain a motion.
27 acres.
No, it was,
No.
this one's 4 acres.
4 acres.
Oh,
So the
okay, 4 acres of the 27.
The overall parcel is 27 acres. They're
Okay.
requesting that 4 of those acres be rezoned.
All right. I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance number 486, the RR2 to CG rezone.
Second?
I got a motion by Commissioner Scott and a second by Commissioner Hadfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Next item I have is regarding the Corridor Preservation Fund. The COG and subsequently the County Commission is required per state code to adopt a priority list each year. At their meeting on September 19th, the COG approved the Corridor Preservation Fund priority list that was sent to you as part of the agenda items, and it is requested that that priority list be approved at the commission level.
Do you guys got any questions on that?
No, I looked through there. It's a pretty long list.
They're
A lot of
It
upcoming
is.
projects.
They're getting their feet underneath them now.
Yeah, it's kind of really the priority list is more of a wish list. If you can get around all those projects, that's fantastic, but it's, your project has to be on the priority list in order to be funded.
All right.
If you get around to that particular project.
Is this for 2018 or 2019?
2019.
This is 2018.
Oh, I thought it was,
Okay.
No,
because it says 2019 on our thing.
It
Oh,
says 2018 on here. I was thinking
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
for
Oh, it's
next year,
2018.
so,
it's for this year.
okay.
When the COG met in April, they couldn't
decide we didn't have.
decide what to
Okay.
do, so they didn't approve anything at that meeting. So There are a few applicants that want to get applications in before the end of the year, so that would go under this, and then we'll be back in January with the
fund it.
2019 list.
Okay.
On those aren't in any particular order.
No.
They're just on the list, and so the top one for Tremont could actually be one that they really don't care about as much as another one.
May not be as high a priority, correct?
All right.
I make a motion, we approve the Corridor Preservation Fund 2018 priority list.
I'll second that.
I got a motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
2 more and you're done. You need a drink, stand up, walk around.
We're getting there.
Okay.
The next item is a request for reimbursement. This is the project ID is CPF 16-05. This project was approved in 2016. Anyway, the approved application originally was for $25,000 to go towards transportation master plan for Tremont City. The request for reimbursement, the initial one came back before the county commission in August of this year, if you recall. Their total expenditure on that plan came in above estimate. It was at $34,905.60. As the original project was only approved for $25,000, that's what the commission was comfortable approving and reimbursing. Since Tremont City has gone back to the COG and requested the additional $9,905.60 to cover the remainder of that transportation master plan, the COG at their September meeting approved that additional expenditure, and so that Tremont has come back before the commission with the request for that additional $9,905.60 to be reimbursed with regard to that project.
Okay. Entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion that we approve the request for the corridor preservation funds regarding the master transportation plan for Tremont.
Second.
We've got a motion by Commissioner Scott and a second by Commissioner Hatfield. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, final request is Tremont City, and somehow I just blew right past it here. Anyway, this one is for, here we go. So Tremont, the request went before the COG again at their September meeting. The original request was to reprogram $54,000 from Main Street and 1000 West in the county. 1000 West is Iowa String Road, so that would be the intersection just adjacent to Maverick. $54,000 was awarded to Tremont to acquire land to add a right turn lane to that intersection. Tremont was able to acquire funds from a separate source, and that $54,000 was no longer needed as part of that project. So they were requesting to reprogram those funds to their next priority project, which is at 950 East and Main Street in Brigham City, or in Tremont.
I was going to say that was awful nice of them to think of Brigham.
Yeah. So 950 East and Main Street there in Tremont. It would be a new intersection heading north off of Main Street. The total project estimate there is $72,000. The COG didn't like the idea of reprogramming funds. They don't have a current policy for reprogramming, and they didn't want to start off setting a precedence without something like that. So what they decided to do was award $72,000 from the Corridor Preservation Fund just as a new project. So they did approve that. So that approval needs to come before you, the county commission now. This is not for reimbursement, it's just for approval to move forward with the acquisition.
So we're only actually getting another 20-something thousand out of the fund.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once the acquisition's finalized, then they would come back to you for reimbursement.
Okay.
So the initial 54 that was programmed for that other one has already been paid out.
No,
Has not.
they
Okay,
found other funds,
found
Yeah, they
other
found
funds.
other funds
So,
for that
okay.
project.
so they didn't come
So
for the 54.
they are reprogramming, but they're not really reprogramming. They're just calling it something different.
They
Because
put,
I
they
mean,
put
it's,
a new program in it.
yeah, it's 72 that's going to go out, so it'd be 18 over.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
They're just not calling it reprogramming because they don't want to set a precedence without, and they've tasked myself and Marcus
Okay.
with coming up with a reprogramming structure if they want to move forward
Well, and
in the
I
future.
appreciate Tremont City going out and find other avenues to be able to do that kind of work.
Yeah.
Just makes the money and the fund go further, so
Exactly.
anything they can do, yeah.
And that other one
Good
was
on 'em.
the new road there by the Lube Center? That prior one? Or was that a different
No.
one? Okay,
Side road.
cool.
So 950 East is, oh, okay. All right. Okay.
All right.
Entertain.
It would line up with the county's 5600 West,
Okay,
up north of, between Tremont and Garland.
okay.
I'd make a motion, we approve the Tremont City request for corridor preservation funds for the 950 East Main Street intersection.
I'll second that.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Hatfield and a second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Scott. Okay, I'd entertain a motion to go into RDA.
So moved.
Second?
I've got a motion by Commissioner Scott. And I'm going to wait until we sign our names and then,
You don't need
You're
to
not-
rush.
Okay.
You can just take a recess.
okay, I'm going to take a recess and go into RDA then. Forget your motion.
Forget your.
Forget your motion. Okay.
Okay, let me change the,
No, you told me to forget it. Want a cookie?
I'm gonna take my time,
Okay.
not just because of that.
I had one of those Rice
It doesn't bother me.
Rice
Way to go,
Krispie
Stan.
ones.
I ain't got nowhere to be.
Peanut butter Rice Krispie things.
I do.
Oh, I know.
I'm good.
Just got a text from the mayor.
Okay. You're up.
Do you want to do
You
minutes
wanna
first?
approve
I'll make
minutes?
a motion, we approve the minutes from September 5th, 2018.
I'll second that.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hatfield and a second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, a couple of, I guess it was a couple of commissions ago, it wasn't this last one, but the one before, we talked about creating a community reinvestment area within Willard City. Willard City's asking, so they don't have to create their own redevelopment agency. We're talking about an interlocal agreement that would allow Box Elder County Redevelopment Agency to act on their behalf. And so that's what we're, first and foremost, there's an interlocal agreement that would allow us to work with them to create a redevelopment agency. And then the second resolution that we have tonight is a resolution that would allow me to start the creation of a CRA
Okay.
in Willard City. So
Take the first one. You guys got any thoughts or?
I don't, I'm good.
I'd entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion that we approve agreement number 18-04 for the authorization to create a CRA in Willard City.
Second?
I've got a motion by Commissioner Scott and a second by Commissioner Hatfield. All in favor?
Aye.
so that
Okay.
was the interlocal agreement.
Right?
And then we need
And-
to,
The other resolution will allow me to start the creation of a CRA, and you've got a map, by the way. It covers, it's pretty much from 1050 north to 200 north, west of 200 west. There's a map in your document if you're familiar or not with the area, but
and this one is a very short period relatively. It's 5 years, 50%.
so this just allows me to start the creation of it. At that point, then we'll come back with the budget and the plan and all that stuff that you'll see that here in
Okay. But that was the
in next month or
anticipation.
two. Yeah, this is,
Okay.
like I said, this is just a survey area resolution, which again allows me to start the creation of it. So
Cool. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the resolution 18-02 to do the draft for the CRA.
I'll second that.
I got a motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Mitch.
Do you want me to close out of this now?
So that you do have to adjourn, somebody has to make a motion to adjourn.
He's got to sign these before.
I got to sign them before though, right?
Yeah,
I'm going to do it slow, just.
go ahead and go really slow.
There's another map in case you need it.
What's that?
I said there's another map in case you need it.
Okay, thanks. I looked at that and I'm like, I can't see anything.
I seen that was nice black.
You doing, Sherm?
I'd entertain a motion to adjourn the RDA.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Hatfield. All in favor?
Aye. I'd make a motion that we move into a closed session.
Close.
You're
on it.
I'm on this.
Like blue ball.
To discuss real estate.
Second.
I got a motion by Commissioner Scott and a second by Commissioner Hatfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, guys.